Derek James, he has a new trainer. Did you see any improvements in Anthony Joshua?
No, I think he didn't throw a lot of punches. He was a little bit slow, a little bit like sleepy, you know, not so aggressive like I expected, because it's comeback fight. You know, you should be more hungry for win. But yeah, if he wanna be champion again, and I think he won't, I'm the way to his that he become 3-time world champion. You know, I'm the IBF mandatory, his rank in the IBF rankings, and he should fight me next and then challenge again world champion. You know.
How does that fight go, Anthony Joshua versus Filip Hrgovic?
Destroy him.
It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, you see me at the park, got a little run-in, trying to stay physically fit and mentally sane here, but listen, man. I wanted to make a follow-up video to my last video by Anthony Joshua. Shout out to all the new subscribers that, you know, subscribed from that video and left good comments about what I had to say. I really do appreciate it, and it's good to see sensible boxing fans out there in the world. Now, this is my follow-up video to my last Anthony Joshua video because, you know, I really do believe that he's unfairly getting criticized. I think there's nothing wrong with his performance, but, you know, we live in this hypercritical society where, you know, you gotta be perfect all the time, otherwise you're a bum in boxing. So with that being said, and with that being established here on True School Sports, a lot has been made about, you know, Anthony Joshua and who he might fight next. You know, a lot of people have their ideas about who he might fight next. Now, there's a fight for Anthony Joshua that I've been campaigning for a while because I'm a fan of the guy that I'm about to mention. But, however, I actually think now it makes more sense than when I initially mentioned this fight. And that fight, I truly believe, is against none other than the IBF mandatory challenger, Filip Hrgovic. Now, let me lay out why I think this is a good opponent and a good fight for all parties involved, not just Anthony Joshua. First of all, Anthony Joshua needs to fight somebody that is a level or two above Jermaine Franklin. Franklin is good at what he does. He's a good, agile, durable heavyweight, but Jermaine Franklin is not, you know, an elite, you know, top 10 heavyweight. At least I don't think so. I think he's like, at best, a fringe top 15 guy, and I think his level was shown in the Anthony Joshua fight, although I give him credit for trying, right? Now, Hrgovic is a good fight because he's not necessarily, at least if you talk to most boxing fans, right, he's not necessarily looked to be at the level of a Fury or a Usyk or even a Wilder. He's not on that elite top shelf level. Now, he's got the tools to get there, but he hasn't shown it in the ring yet, right? So this will give Anthony Joshua a chance to fight a guy who right now is an undefeated fighter, you know, at least on paper. I know a lot of people thought he lost to Zhang. A guy that would definitely present, you know, a danger to him, especially if he makes some of the mistakes we talked about in the last video with the overparrying and some of the defensive lapses he has. Hrgovic has the kind of power and the straight right hand to really take advantage of some of the things Anthony Joshua does. So I think it's a good fight in that regard. Number two, Anthony Joshua has always, his whole entire career, struggled against, you know, smaller heavyweights like Ruiz and like Usyk. Hrgovic is not Ruiz or Usyk size. He's more of or Jermaine Franklin. He's a 6'6" or 6'7" guy, so he's more eye level with AJ. He's got more of that classic boxer style, more like, you know, 1-2. So I think this fight, because of the style and because of the fact that this guy is a better fighter than Jermaine Franklin, I think this fight would really, for me, give us more answers to Anthony Joshua and what he can do moving forward in the heavyweight division. And third of all, a win against Hrgovic would set him right in line for a chance to fight for the IBF mandatory, for the IBF championship of the world. You know, Anthony Joshua is looking to get back in the title contention quick. And I know that people will say Hrgovic is a high risk, low reward guy, but there's not really anybody else that I can see that's available, right? I mean, Dubois supposedly going to fight Usyk if this Fury thing doesn't happen. Wilder, I don't think is fighting Joshua anytime soon. So if those fights aren't options, I think Hrgovic is a good option because he's in the, matchroom boxing fold, And on top of that, Hrgovic just did an interview after Anthony Joshua's fight. He did an interview with the fine folks over at Boxing ID, and he pretty much said, "Listen, I would destroy him. I would beat him if he came like that in the ring with me. I would beat him." So Hrgovic now, he's talking, and interviews that I've done with him when he was training down here in Miami, that's a fight he's expressed interest in, and he's gone deep into on this channel about why Anthony Joshua hasn't been as successful. So I think it'd be a really good fight. And then on top of that, from the Hrgovic side of things, Hrgovic has a lot to prove. Anthony Joshua would definitely be a high-profile opponent, and he'd be the kind of guy where he could actually prove himself as a top guy. Because Anthony Joshua, yes, he's not Fury and he's not Usyk, okay? But he's on that next level down, okay? He's on that highest level you can get in the next level down. Just with same with a guy like Wilder, same thing. So with that being said, I think the fight makes a lot of sense. Better style matchup for him. Hungry guy, better fighter than Jermaine Franklin. He's a IBF mandatory, and I actually think Hrgovic, Anthony Joshua is probably one of the only fighters who's not a champion in heavyweight. That I feel like if the fight was presented to Hrgovic with decent money, a reasonable offer, I think he would take it. I think he would risk his mandatory spot that he's worked oh so hard to get to fight Anthony Joshua. So the fight makes a lot of sense because both guys have a lot to prove. Both guys are in the same kind of stable of boxing. They both fight with the zone and things like that. They both can make the fight happen based on who their promoters are and things of that nature. So I want to see the fight personally. You guys know I like Anthony Joshua, but I'm a big guy. I'm a big Filip Hrgovic guy, and I've maintained that even after the Jank fight. I think that wasn't him. I think there's more to give, and I think a fight against Anthony Joshua for him at this stage of his career would be exactly what the doctor ordered for the former Croatian Olympian. So yeah, he's running his mouth, he's flapping his gums, he's saying he can do this, he can do that, and that he would beat the brakes off AJ. And I think he's capable of it. I genuinely believe because of some of the weaknesses and the defensive lapses AJ has, Hrgovic can capitalize. He could be AJ, but at the same time, Hrgovic has shown vulnerabilities. Hrgovic, I think, has some things in his armor and in his skill set that can be taken advantage of. And I think Anthony Joshua, with another Derrick James training camp, he's not even going to be like that. That tentative guy you saw in the Franklin fight, I don't think that'll be him either. I think after a second Derrick James training camp, after more time to implement the ideas and the philosophies of what Derrick James brings to the table, I truly believe that Anthony Joshua, right, he's going to be a bit more sure of himself. You get him in an environment with the likes of Earl Spence and Jermell Charlo, where he's not the big man in the gym, but he's just one of the guys in the gym. I think he learns a lot. I think he's going to build off of the positives that we talked about in the last video. And I think, he could beat a guy like Hrgovic, but vice versa. I also think even if he does do all those things right, I think Hrgovic is still good enough to where even if Joshua does the right things in the gym, I still think Hrgovic could beat him. So it's a fight where I think there's a lot of unpredictability. It's a fight where stylistically I think it's a better matchup for AJ to really have that showcase statement performance that fans are looking for. And on top of that, if he was to beat Hrgovic, I think it would be something great because he'd be an IBF mandatory challenger at that point. And then the next fight, he would have had a fight against Franklin, a fight against Hrgovic, 2 training camps, Derrick James, and I think that would be the appropriate time to explore fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world for another occasion. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, man. I've been wanting to see this fight for a long time, and maybe it was a bit premature when I first mentioned it, but I really do think now more than ever it makes a lot of sense because you gotta remember, right? You gotta remember before he fought Jermaine Franklin, his options came down to 2 people. It was Hrgovic and it was Franklin, and he chose Franklin. So why not go to the guy that was his second option? You see what I'm saying? So obviously there's other options, but I just think if you're trying to find the right opponent / a competitive fight in a fight Anthony Joshua can win, that's the guy right there, Filip Hrgovic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about Anthony Joshua versus Hrgovic? I mean, I have talked to some people And there's still some people out there that say, you know what? No, he's not even ready for Hrgovic yet. You know, Hrgovic will still starch and he'll beat the brakes off Anthony Joshua. So he don't need them type of problems in his life. So, you know, what do you guys think? I want to hear from the fine folks out there. You know, shout out to everyone who's supporting the channel. You know, I'll be outside of South Florida soon. I'll be in Vegas. So got some things in the works. Hopefully, you know, you guys support everything we got going on and continue to support the channel because it's been nothing short of a great year. So yeah, and the crazy part is this year's gonna get even better. So ain't that something, you know? So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. AJ Hrgovic, is it a fight you fancy? Is it a fight you want? Let me know why. Let me know why not. All that good stuff. You know, take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.